And I'm recording. And let's see here. Waiting for the game to fire off. There it is. All right. HITCO versus Huntdown. Super exciting. And by Huntdown, of course, I mean the virtual one. Big surprises. But, yes. And Taco Bell wanted me to remind you that both of these players are 4-0, so they are both making the cut for day 2. And yeah, should be exciting stuff. All right. Remember, the previous game that we watched took a little while to kind of get going. Let's see. Let's see if this one is the same thing or different. All right, I'm showing 25 viewers. If you guys don't know who I am, but you're just tuning in because it's Worlds coverage, I'm Kendall. I'm not a very good player, but I do create a lot of Star Wars CCG content. My website, kendallcast.ninja. And I try to share stuff with everybody everywhere. I recently did an interview with Jerry Darcy, the lead designer of lots of a lot of the Decipher era iconic things in Star Wars cards. He was the lead designer from A New Hope through Endor. I also have done a series of interviews with 5 world champions and 1 world championship runner-up. 4 of those episodes are out. My interview with Justin Desai and my interview with Johnny Chu should be available hopefully this week-ish. And then I also do Bad Deck Breakdowns, which is a podcast where CRG, who's going on to day 2, and I build bad decks, or kind of original decks that are maybe underpowered outside the meta or whatever, and talk about them, determine whether they're good, bad, or indifferent or whatever. And once again, Joe deploys Darth Vader. A Huntdown deck that plays a Darth Vader. Huge surprise here. Totally blown away. All right, so one thing I've been doing tonight is some little says Walseth says that bad decks are the best. Yeah, I mean, I think that if we wanted to all be playing the same decks, we'd play poker or whatever, or chess or whatever. Like, there is a fun creative element to deck building in Star Wars, and sometimes that doesn't, that's not just the best thing ever. So I'm gonna up the ante here on my on my holiday special trivia, I have a foil home one for anyone who can answer this next question. What song shares the chord structure with A Day to Celebrate, the song that Princess Leia sings at the end of the holiday special? All right, so if you can answer that question, put it in the chat, and you get a home one. Looks like we're playing some stuff. He put his Yoda out. Jin's girl can answer it, but not correctly. Well, figured I'd give a little harder one that might take a minute. Incorrect. Think about the song that she sings. You know, if you need to listen to it again, it's a you guys are way off. If nobody gets it here in a little bit, I'll give you a hint. No, it is not Nickelback's Photograph. That would be, I believe that song was written after the holiday special. So the song that I'm looking for was written by one John Williams. And don't tell anybody, but I actually use that chord structure. Yes, Spidey Guy is correct. Spidey Guy, this home one is yours. Just message me on the forums or whatever, and I will make sure to get it out to you. Very good. Yes, it is the theme to Star Wars. And once you know, like, you don't realize it when you're first listening to it, but then once you know it, you'll never be able to unhear it. It's it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I like the other song. I like the other song better. I like Akmina's song a lot better than A Day to Celebrate, but okay, so the question was, now that you know the answer, the question was, what song shares the chord structure with A Day to Celebrate, the song that Princess Leia sings at the end of the Star Wars Holiday Special? How many times have I seen the Holiday Special? I want to say like 5 or 6. I saw it. So I saw it at like a movie theater bar thing. That was the worst experience because it's the only time I watched it with commercials. Which you would think watching it with commercials would be good, but would not recommend. Its pacing is much better if you can skip the commercials. And then I've actually done 2 different podcasts discussing it. So I watched it twice for those, and then I think I showed it to my in-laws, and I watched it at a birthday party, and I think I watched it alone another time. Yeah, so probably about 6 times. And I love it. It's great. I mean, we named our cat after Akmina's character, so after B. Arthur's character, it's a whole thing. And also it was like one of those things for years that like I knew it existed. People were like, it's so bad, it's so terrible. But like in the early, like in Web 2.0 days, like, early 2000s, you couldn't just find any 2-hour video that's ever been on television. So we've got Darth Vader and Obi-Wan. I was wondering if he was going to pull the circle is now complete. We saw that in the last game that Joe played. Said he'd rather go without TV for a month. Keep trying to make it up. It's really fun, and it's also especially fun if you like are showing it to someone. I will admit that just watching it on your own is not all that entertaining. But if you're like sharing it with someone. All right. JagTech is trying to cancel the duel with a Jedi's concentration, but a rebel spy says no. You gotta lose that force. Or whatever. And Obi-Wan is placed out of play. That's gotta be brutal. And a really good like meta choice for Joe to know that he would be seeing Obi-Wan, probably that's one of the staples in HITCO, because HITCO can't play episode 1 Jedi, right? Yeah, except Yoda. Anakin Skywalker moving Prophecy of the Force to the I agree. Circle is now complete. Has done some good work in 2 games. Uh, it's definitely a good meta call here if you're expecting a lot of HITCO. And I mean most decks play an Obi-Wan, right? I mean, what deck doesn't play Obi-Wan? Because you either play Episode 1 Obi-Wan, or you play Obi-Wan with lightsaber, or you play some other Obi-Wan. And it's a Destiny 6. in a deck full of already high destiny cards. And he just played the card that I never remember what it does. Oh, puts a hatred card on the character. No escape. No escape is always the best card in your deck. That's a quote that CRG attributes to me, but I think somebody else said it first. But you can attribute it to me. I'll take credit. But I didn't have No Escape. I couldn't fit No Escape in my court deck that I played today, and it was just like, I don't know, it didn't feel right. Felt right to shoot down home one. Yes. Yes, that was pretty epic. That was pretty epic. That I was able to I lived the dream, the magical Christmas land dream of deploying Jabba's space cruiser with a double laser cannon, paid 3 and flawless marksmanship to blow up home one. And it was at a, I wouldn't, a key moment might be a little much, but like it's what cleared Bespin so that I could cancel his celebration in Quiet Mining Colony, and that was, he immediately conceded after that. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Definitely the best thing that happened today. I had a good game, but I had a good game against DDM as well with his EBO. That was also a pretty great game. I got him down to about 5 force before he was able to satisfy. He was able to satisfy battle order. I wasn't able to satisfy ultimatum or resistance or whatever. All right, so we got a battle. We got Luke and Rey versus Vader, just like in the movies, just like in the holiday special. In the Lego holiday special, you guys see that? It was good. It was good stuff. I'll be real curious to see Joe's list here, because it does seem to be playing. I've played a handful of I've seen a handful of Hunt Down virtual decks, like in testing and whatnot, and there's not really a settled best version, and I'll be really curious to see what the specifics of the list, the numbers and everything. Ooh. Looks like he maybe will miss. Oh, is that a hit? No, I think that's a miss. Yeah, because Luke's defense value 7. So this is... He's gonna double kill Vader here. Wonder if he tracked that 0 to get it out of the way. I think my camera glitched for a second, but it should be all right. Looks like light side wins the battle. Loses Rey. But yeah, it seems like some versions of the deck of Hunt Down V play like just a couple Vaders, and some of them are it's more like 3, 3, or I don't know if I've seen 4, but some feel more Vader centric than others, and of course Hunt Down a very Vader centric objective in the non-virtual world. Forces Joe to use his Gick. Joe coming for the counter beat with Vader. Being able to get Vader's lightsaber back here is really good. If he wants to, I think. Okay, so okay, that makes more sense. So Joe went to pull the lightsaber out of Lost Pile and accidentally clicked reserve deck, and Jagtech, being the gentleman that he is, uh, offered to let him revert. It was an obvious misclick. It's a little that those situations can be a little bit awkward because you got to see his reserve deck, but I mean it's also very that's a very easy misclick to make. I'll frequently Oh, and he was able to verify the deck anyway. So that's that's fine. And yeah, Joe says 2 1s and the rest of his deck are Destiny 4 plus. So All right, and Luke is hit. Get that little ping from that's Vader. I am your father. Man, did you guys see Mandalorian? Oh, so good. I want a dark side card, a dark side version of Like My Father Before Me for Boba Fett. Be pretty awesome. And if you didn't see Mandalorian and I just spoilered it for you, I apologize. I it, it's still a very excellent episode. The show is so freaking good, right? Like it doesn't even. I recently people have been giving it criticism that episodes are formulaic, but it's like it's a serialized story about the adventures of a Mandalorian and a baby Yoda. Like, of course they're gonna go to a planet and then fix a problem, and then it doesn't fix their problem, and they move on to the next thing. Like that's the point of the series. Yeah, Baby Yoda is cute, definitely. And I think the character brings sort of an element of levity to what could have been a very like overly grimdark show. You're one episode behind. I apologize. I won't get into any more specifics, but it's a good show. It's a very good show. I think my favorite episode is still the second episode with the Jawas. I think that I really like the more self-contained episodes. Although these last two that have moved the mythology forward a little bit have also been really excellent, and seeing them incorporate the Clone Wars stuff, Clone Wars and Rebels stuff is really cool because it's like those things. Even though I feel like they happened in my version of canon, I think that seeing characters come to life is just a really cool thing, you know. Seeing the dark saber at the end of the first season, and then the way that they followed up on that, it's just been really cool. Because I mean, yeah, self-contained space westerns are pretty neat. I mean, that's one of the reasons Firefly was so great, you know. JagTech comments here. Lots of lots of Inquisitors in the deck. And a Rebel Spy says the deck is silly. Yeah, I agree, Ethereon. I think that that it it feels like they're incorporating and acknowledging old canon. Um, they're while still telling their story. And I honestly, I mean, I think the first time we went back to we went to Tatooine on the show, it felt a little fan servicey, but it's also like it's Star Wars. Lots of stuff happens on Tatooine in Star Wars. Um, I think of Tatooine as like, I don't know, like New Jersey or something. Like it's this kind of, or like Baltimore or something. I don't know. Like it's adjacent to, it's near Naboo. It's adjacent to like these nice places, but it's kind of it's the the planet that people don't like. Like the Congo. That's not my. I would say that's not my interpretation of it. I think of it as it's someplace that is away, that is slightly away, but not. I don't think it's as remote as maybe Luke thought it was as a dumb 18-year-old. Just like, you know, people thought of Columbus, Ohio. People that I grew up with thought of Columbus, Ohio, as this middle of nowhere nothing town, and then they saw the rest of Ohio and realized that they lived in a thriving metropolis. You know, Jakku. Now that's nowhere. That sounds like Coruscant propaganda there, Antares, that the outer rim is uncivilized compared to the Galactic Hub. I think that's fake news. All right, so there's some fighting going on. What weapon does Seventh Sister have there? Using the Dark Jedi lightsaber. That's interesting. I can never remember, is the Seventh Sister the one from Rebels or the one from Fallen Order? Uh, doesn't say there. Okay, yeah. So Seventh Sister is from Fallen Order. explains why she has the proby thing. So I think you fight those in Fallen Order. Which is a great game, by the way. All right. Luke coming after Seventh Sister on his own. I just love these how many 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 or 2-on-2 or whatever, these kind of smaller battles that ended up taking place in this matchup. It lends to such a fun game with a lot of potential for shenanigans. Like playing You Are Beaten on LSJK. That puts a snag. Seven Sisters Rebels? Did I mix? I have her Wikipedia up. I think I get, because is that voice the one that's, is she the one that's voiced by Sarah Michelle Gellar? Yes. Okay. So is it the second sister that I'm thinking of? That's from the other one? Fallen Order does have second sister. I get those two mixed up. Actually, for most of Fallen Order, I was like, oh, isn't this cool that this Rebels character is being used in Fallen Order? And then I realized there were two different characters. Right. Which do those two have cards now? We have ninth sister, but we don't have, that's probably why I thought that the one that we had was from Fallen Order, because ninth sister is from Fallen Order and then seventh sister is from Rebels. I love that the Inquisitors, like, they've kind of pieced them out on this and this and this, and like you can kind of, follow their stories in different places. They're freaking awesome. All right, he pulled the Chasm Walkway. Chasm, whatever. Yay player with a J in his name, boo player with a J in his name. Dan, I thought you were going to bed. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for yeah. 69th uncle. I could probably take that advice too, but at this point, gotta watch. I just feel like powering through to the end, and then maybe watch some episodes of Big Mouth with my wife. When does the scotch come out? I did have some. I did have some whiskey in between. In between games, I don't really do scotch. Well, I guess I do scotch. Is Black Label scotch? It's a blended thing, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So I knew that. I knew that. No, I'll drink Black Label when I want to be fancy. But I don't like Red Label that much. Um, I usually drink Crown Royal, which is Canadian whiskey. I think it's just a little sweeter, or it's just like the right sweet and smoothness and stuff. But I don't like any of the flavored Crown Royals. So so Joe Olson tries to recycle his "We must accelerate our plans," which has already been grabbed. I didn't know that bourbon and scotch were the same because I feel like whenever I've had scotch, it tastes uh, more like I don't know. I don't have the vocabulary, but more like a lighter whiskey, like a lighter liquor, as opposed to like bourbon tastes more woody. Okay, Spidey guy, I think you're right. I think that they are very different because bourbon to me, yeah, bourbon has a very distinct flavor. Um, I haven't hated myself enough to drink bourbon a lot recently. Um, you know, and I mean that in a good way. You know, sometimes you just want to punish yourself with some bourbon. You know, sometimes you intentionally buy the next shelf down. Technically, I have some rum over here, some Captain Morgan, but I got it, and it's like, wow, I'm used to a nicer liquor than this. I can't drink it. Okay, so something just happened. Thank you, Rolling Snakes. Bourbon is mostly distilled from corn, making it sweet. There's zero corn and whiskey sauce, so they're just different. Tortuga rum. Yeah, I haven't had rum. I haven't had rum that I enjoyed in a long time. I when I'm at a bar, I do a Captain and Coke, but like that's very rarely. I'm too much of an alcoholic to drink at bars. Jack Daniels is a Tennessee mash, right? Or something like that, because it's like bourbon, but from Tennessee, right? I think that's right. I can definitely imagine a high quality Big Mac. Speaking of which, the freaking McRib is back. So the reserve deck is 4 and 5 for Dark Side. The McRib is back, you guys. I had one the other day. It was so good. Oh man. So Jack Daniels is not a bourbon because it's not made in Kentucky. I know because I live next to Kentucky. Yeah. And Mountain Dew is Mountain Dew. I've drank more Mountain Dew today than in a long time. It's it's an interesting beverage. He actually used a day long remembered. All immunity to attrition is -3. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, I want to see Joe's deck list. This version of Hunt Down Virtual has a lot of interesting card choices. So that's interesting. Dropping Chewie in front of Vader. Yeah, this has to be a 6. In the chat, JagTech sounds like he's just kind of struggling right now. Ooh. And JagTech has conceded. So that was a game. Let's see what we got left here. Yeah, what are they streaming? Actually, I just like totally hit a wall. I think I am going to call it a night. So thanks everyone for watching. Hop back over to the main feed. Cause I think all my caffeine wore off. I've been going since 3 o'clock this morning. So I'll be back tomorrow afternoon at 1. Thanks everyone for watching. There will be more. I've got more cards that I'm gonna give away for the holiday special trivia. Come back tomorrow. I'll be well rested. I'll drink more Mountain Dew. All will be right with the world. Have a good night.